What is up? Shop Talk Podcast, and we are live from the Workbench. Of course, this was supposed to be, this is for episode 31. Yeah, it was supposed to be a couple days ago. Unfortunately, yeah. A few different things happened, especially with the NBA preseason, and then just had a couple people. Well, if Bill Burr can put out his podcast a half a day late and sell out the Forum, which we'll get to that here in a second. And you had some of the preseason games I caught, which was pretty cool. I'm about to put on some of the highlights from the new look Cleveland Cavaliers. But yeah, you had Bill Burr sold out the Forum. Rogan just had a Netflix special come out. And Rogan said the Forum was 9,000 people. It's a little under 9,000 if it's half a stadium. If it's a whole stadium, it's like 17, almost 18,000 people. So, whatever. And to see Bill Burr and Del Rey playing a whole lot of Rosie, and Dean Del Rey was flashing some stuff, I think, on his Instagram. God, they sound great. They sound great together. But these new look Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't know what to think. I mean, obviously you don't have LeBron. In their first preseason game, they played Celtics today, September 2nd. So if you're hearing this, it's going to be, yeah. And then, but yeah, obviously they're going to run a lot more plays to Kevin Love. I get it. I do like some of the younger guys stepping up. But yeah, they played the Celtics, and it's the Celtics' second preseason game, which I know it's still preseason, so you can't really get your hopes up about anything. No guitar this week. It's sitting right next to me. And so is that processor I bought. I probably should have got something a little bit more current. I was playing with it the other day, and I was trying to edit some of the patches in it. I don't know. It's just frustrating. So I don't know if I'm going to even use it, if I'm going to sell something, or if I'm going to sell it and get something else. I have no clue. It's a little disappointing, to say the least. But it wasn't too expensive, so I'll figure it out. I tried to watch a little bit of Rogan's, and of course he was just here in Columbus, and my wife wanted me to go to the show. And I was talking to somebody at work the other day about, because I didn't go to it, obviously, and I told her I like Rogan, and I love his podcast, but I don't find him very funny as a stand-up comedian. And that's just me, you know. I mean, I like the guy as a person and everything. So I watched a little bit of his special. There's some funny jokes and stuff. Would I want to pay to go see it? No. I've never been to, watch his stand-up at all. But if I would, it'd be Bill Burr all the way. That's just me. But that's also, Bill Burr does it better than anybody else. It's also like, I like watching or listening to Adam Carolla's podcast. Would I want to go see him do stand-up? Oh, no. Not at all. And there's some guys, too, I don't really look at them. Well, I'm not a comedian, obviously, but there's some guys that I don't look at that are stand-up comedians. I kind of almost feel like the way, like, if you started there, you're kind of legit. And I'm not saying Rogan's not legit, or Theo Von's not legit. But, for me, I want to see a guy that's what he started doing. You know, that's just me. Anyway, so on to these new look Cavaliers. They're going to be running a lot of stuff through Cedi Osman. Watching some of the highlights right now. Again, I don't really know what to think. The point guard they drafted, which I was very happy about. I just wish we had, Nawaba. Just seeing some of the highlights, I'm really impressed by his game. I didn't get to see him play that much last year. I can't remember if he was on the Bulls or not. But I think Clarkson, they're playing a lot of ISO ball, which is fine. Clarkson does anyways, but Clarkson's a good player. But like Sam Decker, I think Sam Decker's going to really bring...
I'm not sure about that.
Fucking Alexa, shut up. Anyways, do I think Sam Decker's going to, do anything? Not so much. Do I think he's going to fill a position. He's going to fill a role. But, yeah, I don't know what the solution is. But I don't think bringing in guys on big contracts is a solution. Not that they are. I think they're definitely trusting the process a little bit here, but did anybody see the Lakers game? LeBron's first game with the Lakers is pretty good to watch. And again, it's still preseason, so once all this stuff unfolds, I thought today for sure I was gonna go on a bike ride and log about at least 10 miles, something like that. Just get a good bike ride in, clear my head a little bit. That didn't happen. The rain, yeah. But I got some other shit done, so cleaned up a little bit. What I really need to do is get some more samples. I just figure out this processor or whether I'm going to get another one. That way I can add some little guitar parts here and there, get some recording done, especially at night. And yeah, so we have deviled eggs on what's for dinner this week. I know I was supposed to start my burger series, and I don't even know if I mentioned some of the names of the titles. I'm definitely I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's not really going to matter. You can take it for what you will. So obviously, I want to do an A1 burger, which I know that Whataburger just had their A1 burger come back out on the West Coast. This is not that. Years ago, Rally's had an A1 burger, and I know we don't talk enough about cooking on here like we used to, but they had an A1 burger, and I've ordered it, but it was many years ago. I'm talking 16 years ago, maybe longer, that they've had it. But it's not that. It's my version. And then also, I'm doing what you might think is another copycat burger, but it's not. And it's the flamethrower burger. And it's not going to be like the flamethrower from Dairy Queen. It's my own, not my own take on their version. It's my own take on that, just the title. And then, of course, I'm going to do either Andy's Diner Burger or just Andy's Burger. And just some of the stuff I like on a burger, of course. And just to mention, yeah, as I said, there's no guitar this week. Last week, oh my God. Not only was I tired and I had a really good buzz, but yeah, I'm sure everybody could tell. And then my guitar playing, I'm like slow as hell on the guitar parts. Yeah, it was a combination of not playing and also just being a little, tipsy. I seen the highlights to the Rockets game that went on today. I don't know. They'll be fun to watch. Seen a few other games. Of course, the Golden State. I think it was a few days ago. I'm just having fun watching these preseason games. Hell, the Browns. Browns are what? I knew at one point, what were they, 1-1-1? Were they 2-1-1? I don't know. But I don't have enough time to keep up with all this shit. Let alone keep up with everything I need to do myself. I may have mentioned this, and I don't know if I did or not. But, I watched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul when they first came out. As they would come out every week. And then I just, a girl mentioned to me that I should check out Ozark. And I may have mentioned in the last podcast, but no one listens to this thing anyways. It's like I'm talking to myself. But, so I started watching that. Of course, watch a few episodes, fall asleep. I'm watching it on Netflix or whatever, so it, just keep playing. So I might go through a couple episodes. I go back and watch it. And I didn't realize there was only 2 seasons. So I don't know when they're coming out with another season, but I don't know. It's not a bad show. But you can tell that they so want to be like Better Call Saul, especially like the in-between parts where they have the little, I don't know what you call them, symbols. And they'll have like 4 symbols on the front of it. And they'll have a different symbols every week. And you can just tell like they want to be a cult following like Breaking Bad had. And now it's a good show, and Jason Bateman is the producer or whatever. Which I've always liked his acting and everything like that, but there was one part in it. Well, no, there's not one part because they say it. I'm trying to think of the phrase. The phrase was, it's always other characters saying it to, the main characters, Jason Bateman and his wife. It's something to the extent of, it's something like it seems highly unusual, and they're making remarks to either what they're saying or their actions. And the one they bought a funeral home. I don't want to fucking blow it for everybody, but not everybody's gonna watch it. They bought a funeral home, and they still had the funeral home director working there. And Ruth, which obviously she's not a part of the family, they say it to her too. It's just highly unusual, And I don't know. Is anyone else catching that shit? You smelling what I'm feeling? You feeling what I'm saying? Or whatever the hell it is. Oh, of course. So before we get into, I'm going to talk about the Kavanaugh shit. But before we get in that, I got a few stories. Check some levels real quick. Of course, it's still not on.
I killed your cat, you druggy bitch.
God, why?
I felt it would bring closure to our relation.
Who the fuck said that?
Okay.
Who's the slimy little communist shit?
So, there we go. That's better. So, I went to the barber shop, and this is a while back. And so normally when you go in, well, if they're real busy, you have to grab a number. Or you could already be there, and if it starts getting busy, then they want you to grab a number after you've been there for a while. So I went in with my headphones on, because sometimes you'll wait like an hour, if not longer, to get a haircut. That's just where I go. The guy does a great job, so that's where I go. And there's some older guys that can still go in there, A lot of guys have to get their haircuts, So, but I already sat down with my headphones on. I had been there for, I don't know, almost a half hour. And the one barber says to me, do you got a number? I said, no, but they already were telling people to grab numbers, but I didn't ask when I walked in, because usually they'll tell you. So I went back up there, and this older guy that wasn't there when I walked in had already grabbed a number, and he just held it up like, oh, you got your place. And I was just laughing about it or whatever because I didn't really care. Got a number, sat down, and they're like, oh, yeah, because the barber was, I won't say he was rude to me or whatever, but he was like, oh, he can't just pick and choose who he takes. Talking about my barber. And I was like, it's all right, I've got more time than that guy, meaning that he's going to die way before I do. I didn't really care, I'm sure the people in there that were listening took it the wrong way. It meant that I was talking about the barber, but I was really just talking about the guy that came in after me. Whatever. If you're in that much of a fucking rush, just go right ahead. Jump ahead of me. I always say that. Don't ever be in a rush to go anywhere. And no offense, but I'm not really. Obviously, I'm here. And yeah. And last week I was going to talk about some pawn shop stories, stuff I haven't mentioned before. I don't know if it's just getting a little played out or what. I keep saying it, yeah. So you got this Kavanaugh shit going on. People eating each other alive on Twitter and everything like that. And I don't probably know enough about it to talk about it, but of course, my feelings on it. And I know that anybody that's even said anything about even if I'm not saying, even if you don't support the guy, this is a crazy time in our life, and you can't do or say anything. I mean, they're going back. What is the guy, 52 or 53 or something like that? They're going back to when he's 16. I mean, this is just fucking insanity. And the woman that accused him of, pulling her in the room and groping her and blah, blah, blah. It turned out that they pulled up stuff on her that she lied at one of her jobs about having a degree from John Hopkins or, yeah, some prestigious school that I would never be accepted to. Or, yeah, and she lied about that. So, I mean, whose word? You can't just take somebody's word for it. And what are you going to try to match up stories from, 30 plus years ago, 35 years ago? It's just insane. And one guy says that he didn't drink too much, and then another guy says that he drank too much. I love his response, though. Kavanaugh's response about beer, and he's like, I like beer, and I still like beer. He's like, good for you, man. But they have all these pictures of him on Twitter, and the women's reactions in the background. Oh, come the fuck on. It's like you have nothing better to do. I can't remember who said it. This might have been Chris D'Elia, but get a fucking life. Really. If you have nothing better to do. Oh, I have nothing better to do. I'm sitting right here talking to you. So. But I am going to do a couple pawn shop stories. Of course, I got to fill up some time. Kill some time. Before I do that, I've been making these little Italian subs at home. And I tell you what, because when I went to the store, the deli was already closed, so I couldn't get really what I really wanted. So I had to settle for, prepackaged shit. But I tell you what, it really hits the spot, especially late at night. And you put a little Italian dressing on there, some onions, and some banana peppers. Oh, yeah. So it's a great late night snack. My only problem is buying the bread from your grocery store, your local market, all the stuff that is kind of pre-made. Not even the stuff by the deli, because you can get longer French rolls and blah blah blah. Well, the stuff that just comes in that's from different distributors and manufacturers, I don't know. It's nothing like a sub roll that you would get at a pizza shop or or a sub shop. It's not even close. Still good, but not even close. But again, I apologize because I know like the people like longer format. I didn't write anything down this week. That's my fault. But yeah, I meant to make it longer every week. Make it longer every week, but it is what it is. And I apologize. In a couple hours, I will have to go to sleep and get ready for my work day or my work week. Seeing that this was my only off day. But yeah, that was yesterday. So, one story comes to mind. When I first started at the pawn shop, the main one, which I haven't mentioned this, but they are selling their pawn shop. They've only been there since 1950. And I know that whoever they were trying to sell to in the first place, something fell through. But I would just love to know what they were asking for it. And I know they're asking too much because I've talked to a few people about it. So anyways, I started there. I was very green. I worked at a music shop before that. They were known as the Musician's Pawn Shop. So you would see stuff that was rare, at least around town, that could also bring some decent money on eBay. And there wasn't even Reverb back then. Reverb's another site to sell stuff on if you don't know. But, you could buy something for, if you could buy something for $500-$600. A lot of those guys that would buy stuff, they would turn around and sell it. And it would be stuff that would sell them for $1,000, $1,200. And so at the time, even before I worked there, they had these blue books. They were called Orion Blue Books. And I seen one when I worked in the music store. So if they had a really old, outdated one. And the ones that they had at the pawn shop were very old and outdated as well. And but they went off these blue books. And, they would say whatever year, 2000, whatever, 2000. They had ones from 98, 99, 2000. And it would say, they put little pieces of tape on them and wrote, BC, before Christ, which was funny. But so I just started there, and this guy got this guitar out of layaway. And again, all the customers always wanted people that didn't know their stuff working there, because if they did, you would ask fair market value for something, if not a little higher than that. And then, the jig is up. You're not getting a deal. You can't turn around and sell stuff. But even when you know stuff, you're going to make mistakes. So, but the guy I walked up on it, he had now I could be completely wrong, but it was a Telecaster, and I said, "Oh, is that a California series?" And if anybody knows, I don't know what the California series sells for now. Probably $600 to $800. I don't know. Maybe more, but I doubt it. But back then they only sold for, $500-$600. This is way before Highway Ones and basically, this is a long time ago. 11 years ago, something like that. And what I think it was, I think he had a Fender's Telecaster, but it was an Elite. I was just so green at the time, I didn't know. And he shut the case real quick, because he knew if I figured out what he paid for it, before he got out the door, He basically shut the case real quick, latched it up, picked it up, walked out as soon as he could. It's not like I was going to go up there and try to figure it out and change anything, but there was all kinds of shit like that. Another time, remember this guy was actually, that's not even worth telling. I may have mentioned this before, but an older guy I worked with was a salesman, and he was giving me advice on certain things, and he goes, yeah, sometimes I just tell them they don't have enough. Like, they don't have enough money. Sometimes people, to think that in your head to impress you, they'll pull out a big wad of cash, and that doesn't impress anybody, by the way. That's a ghetto fucking mentality. I'll pull out this big wad of cash. You'll let me see it. If it's like a piece of jewelry or something. Well, this wasn't a piece of jewelry, and this guy wanted to go up the attic and see some drums. And I had just started there, and I told him, I shouldn't have said it to him, and don't do this if you're a salesman. He said, can I go up and see the attic or whatever? At the time, I was real young, like 23 years old. And I told him he didn't have enough money. And I was just joking around. I wasn't being serious at all. And he got really fucking offended. And he stuck his chest out and he goes, I've got enough money. I'm a doctor. And he probably was. I don't give a fuck. Did he buy anything? No. So it doesn't even matter. It's like even if there was the thing that he wanted up there, even if it had a fair price on it, he wasn't going to pay for it. Even if I hadn't even said that to him. Fucking cheapskate, You got a lot of tire kickers that come in places like that. And they just want to futz around, fuck with you. But, yeah. So, I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a good week. We're going to do a couple of these real quick. We're going to do it.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little
Let me see if I get this right. Here's my son.
Please like and subscribe and share so I can think my dad is cool.
Yeah, we could go back to this. Yeah.
Where's my cat?
But I hope you guys have a good work week. I know I'm going to enjoy mine. Again, look forward to the What's for Dinner that's coming up. It's deviled eggs. Even if you fucking know how to make them, you should watch it anyways. And it's not no fancy schmancy shit. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully there's some more preseason games that are coming on. And yeah, I think I want to go make myself one of those little subs I was talking about and get ready for my work day tomorrow. You guys take care. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and also share. Take care.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Got me thinking, I remember the time.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Ain't no changing what's left.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Because we all race against death.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?